Hello adventurers, it is I, Solus Venture, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today's adventure, my Patreon community, they have voted on which adventure to dive into today. And the people have spoken. We are going to be diving into MORK Borg. And we have a one-shot adventure for my PC here, Eldara. And the title of this one-shot adventure is A Sinner's Silver. So just to give you a little backstory of Eldara here. So kind of the setting right now. We are in this little town called Galenbeck, and that is where Eldara is from. And in this town, there is a cottage of witches, and she was raised in this cottage of various witches. Her class, she's an Occult Herbmaster. And basically what happened is there are two basilisks, so this is kind of the god, I guess, that the witches worship. The two-headed basilisks demand silver from a sinner's grave, but not just any sinner. They are looking for Delmira, and Delmira used to be this high priestess of Galenbeck, and she is super powerful, and she tapped into some forbidden magic, and she actually turned against the basilisks and betrayed them. And so they are wanting her silver back. And so the quest that we're going to be doing here is Eldara is going to explore the grave of Galenbeck. So there's a graveyard in the town, and she has to explore that graveyard to retrieve silver from Delmira's grave. And just to give you some visuals here, I actually used these two zines to help kind of give me an idea of what Galenbeck, the graveyard, looks like, and different monsters and such that Eldara, this is our mini here, Eldara is going to be encountering. And I came across this awesome artwork here that shows the graveyard. So this is kind of what the graveyard looks like. And I decided to roll on this bestiary zine. Also, shout out to Hellwolf. I will put some links in my description for you guys to check out this artist. He's really talented. But the, I guess, boss monster for this one-shot adventure will be this giant warped spider. And this spider will actually be guarding the grave of Delmira. So that is kind of the setting and the adventure that we will be diving into. This is going to be a one-shot adventure, so there's only going to be 4 scenes. And I do want to use this, the Solitary Depths, and it's a supplement that's compatible with the MORK Borg system. Shout out to Clips. He sent this over to me for me to try, and I'm so excited to play it. I believe this is supposed to be used with the Solitary Defilement supplement, but I don't have that, and so I decided to just see what we can do and use just the Solitary Depths. So we'll see how it goes. But the cool thing about this is there is an oracle in here. There are a bunch of different random tables to kind of help navigate the story, the campaign. There's also threat rating here, and this will be more for rolling new dungeon rooms. And then there's also different ways that you can actually encounter traps and monsters as well. And so here, for example, here are enemy combat modifiers. And so you can roll on this table to kind of see what the monster ends up doing. There's also an enemy stats generator, which is really nice. And so, yeah, this is my first time actually playing MORK Borg, and so I'm excited to get into it and use this awesome supplement for the adventure. And so yeah, there's also really cool travel rules as well. So yeah, so this will be good. All right, so I guess to start off, I actually have over here this blank piece of paper, and this will actually be kind of our map. So I'm going to use this map here, and we will, I guess, begin. So I'm going to treat this blank page as I'm going to treat it as like the town of Galenbeck, and so I think this is what I am. Actually, I don't need this right now, but this is kind of what I was thinking. So if this blank piece of paper is going to be treated as like a map of the town Galenbeck, I guess we can go ahead and kind of draw out what we think the town looks like. All right, so let's see here. So I'm going to start off first with, I love the tables in here, but I am going to start off with the weather. So let's see what the weather is like. And I'm going to set those aside. So we'll see what the weather's like. Okay, so we got a 9. So a 9, it says here, crackling frost. Okay, so it is winter, and it's a little cold here. Okay, and I will say, I don't know, I do want to know if it is daytime or nighttime. So, you know what, let's just roll for the oracle here. So for the oracle, yes or no question. So is it daytime? Yeah, so I'll roll a d20, and let's see. If very likely or unlikely, I will use 3 d20 here. So I guess that could mean that we can roll all 3. So not really sure here. So yeah, so let's see what we get. This is my first time also rolling a bunch of d20s for an oracle, so this will be interesting. Okay, so look at that. So we got a 14, we got a 10, and then we have a 2. And so let's see. So I guess majority is no. Yeah, so below a 10 and a 2. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna say that it is night. Yeah, so it is nighttime. And let's see here, a random event happens. Okay, so for Eldara, I actually feel like she will be starting at the witch's cottage. And so I think what I'm gonna do here is we are going to get artsy and draw. We will say this is the town of Galenbeck. Okay, so how I'm picturing it is in this town of Galenbeck here. The graveyard is in the town, and I would say that the 2 basilisks' heads, they are outside of Galenbeck. So you have to travel outside of town if you want to reach the 2 basilisks. So I'm assuming that the 2 basilisks will be kind of like in the mountains, right outside of Galenbeck, this town. Okay, and so now I will draw the witch's cottage, and then we're going to use this to kind of map out the town here. Okay, so we are going to draw the witch's cottage. Okay, so and then here's a door, here's another door. Okay. 11, So this would be Eldara's room. Yeah, so she can stay there. And then I would assume, let's see, maybe there's going to be other rooms for other witches as well. So another witch's room. So there's probably going to be a kitchen here, and then there's probably going to be, I kind of want to give like a fireplace here or something. Yeah, like fireplace, and then here is kind of the kitchen, and then we'll put here maybe like a table, so there could be seats here. Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking for Eldara, she's probably in her room studying and probably putting together some like potions and such. So this is where she is. And so now that is how we are going to start the scene. It's nighttime and it is cold, so we're going to start the scene in Eldara's room here. Eldara's room. Okay, and so now we did roll a 10, so that would mean there is a random event. So we're gonna roll a d12. I know I'm kind of using this a little wrong here, but this is just kind of what I think would make the most sense. So, okay, so I'm gonna roll a d12 here. Okay, so we got a 1 here. Okay, so it looks like a faction or community action. Okay, so I'm going to take community action, and I am going to interpret it as there is another witch in this room here. So there is another witch in this room, and let's see what she does. So we will roll a d100 here. Okay, so we got, what is this, a 72. So 72 depth. Okay, so depth, and then what else? Okay, so this would be a 5. Lose. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so I kind of have, I'm gonna interpret depth and lose here as, I know I'm pushing the meaning here, but I'm kind of interpreting the tables right now, the dice, as there is this witch who is a part of the Witches Coven in this cottage here, and she is freaking out. She receives this vision, and it's a vision that's really, I don't know, I guess I'm thinking about depth is this vision. She's really, I guess, physically feeling the effects of this vision, and their coven over here is actually losing the basilisk's favor, and so she needs help. So this witch is saying, like, our coven needs to be rescued, and we need to be back in the basilisk's favor. And so she's freaking out, and she runs over to Eldara's room, and that is where she is going to explain the basilisk's demand. So she's going to walk into Eldara's room and talk about this quest. So this is kind of how this one-shot adventure, like quest, how it's going to be introduced to our main character here, Eldara. So she is knocking on her door, and she's saying, we need help. She receives this vision, and she tells Eldara that we need to get silver from Delmira's grave, and we need to present that as a gift in order to gain the basilisk's favor, or else then their witch's cottage coven, they are in danger. Like, maybe the basilisks would haunt the witches in this coven, or maybe they're trying to like hunt them down or something. And so she's saying, we need help, we need to get Delmira's silver. So now Eldara is saying yes, like 100%. Eldara is very loyal and faithful to this coven. I guess I'm thinking of this coven as like a sisterhood. So she wants to help them out, and so now she's getting ready to go about this quest. And we are going to see if maybe this new NPC here, so if maybe this witch would have ideas of how to locate Delmira's grave, because since Delmira did go against the basilisks, I wonder if they didn't, I guess, honor her death. And so let's see, I'm actually going to ask the oracle here if this particular NPC would know details about the grave. I will say likely. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna say it's likely that this NPC would know. So we are gonna roll these two here and see, and we will pick the highest. Okay, so we got a 9 and we got a 6. Okay. So it is a no. So she doesn't know too much about Delmira's grave. So that's kind of rough. So we are gonna roll actually on this, and we'll see what we come up with on this table here. So we'll roll D100. Okay, so we got 30. So 30 over here. Okay, so it says here world. So 30 world, and then we got a 73. Unleash. Okay, interesting. So how I'm actually kind of interpreting world here is earth or ground, and then unleash, I am going to apply that word, that meaning, to the boss monster that I rolled for in this bestiary. So how I'm interpreting it is, this particular witch, she doesn't exactly know what the grave looks like of Delmira, but she does know that there have been rumors of a giant warped spider that are kind of lurking around, at least, the grave of Delmira. Yeah, so I think she's going to tell her, if you do come across a giant warped spider, then you're most likely getting close to where Delmira's grave is. So that is how Eldara is going to take that information now. Okay, so she goes back into her room. This witch does, and Eldara, I guess, is now ready. So Eldara will know that there is a spider, a warped spider, to look out for that is guarding Delmira's grave. So that is going to be something that she will know, will remember. And let's see, any like other buildings besides the graveyard here in this town of Galenbeck. So I think I'm actually going to use this table over here. So we'll see what else is around in town. Okay, so we got, whoops, I'm gonna roll that again, couldn't see it. Okay, so we got a 9. So a tavern. Okay, cool. So there is a tavern. Eldara would want to go into the tavern to kind of see if she can learn more about Delmira, because since Delmira really offended the basilisks, the witches just don't speak of her name. So I think she's going to go into the tavern to learn more about Delmira. Okay, yeah, so we are going to draw. how I'm kind of picturing it is there's definitely a bar and a kitchen. Maybe they have barrels of ale here. You can take a seat over here. And then there's going to be tables for sure. Okay, and then maybe this could be stairs or something that lead up to the next floor up to maybe like rooms or something. Okay, so she enters into the tavern, and keep in mind it is nighttime and it is cold, so there is definitely likely there's going to be people around gathering around the fire there. So she is in the tavern, and let's see what this looks like here. So okay, so I'm gonna ask the oracle here. So as she goes into the tavern, are there any NPCs that I guess like catch her attention? And I will say it's kind of 50-50, so I'm just going to roll 3 d20s here. Okay, so we got a 12, we got a 2, and we got a 7. It looks like we mostly got a no. So no NPCs like catch her attention. So it looks like everyone is just kind of like chilling at the tavern and trying to like stay warm, grab some food there. And so let's see, I do want her to talk to maybe the tavern keeper here. So we'll use this mini. So this is going to be the tavern keeper. I do want to see MORK BORG here if there's something. I guess we can do a reaction here. So we are going to roll a 2d6. So let's see what this NPC's reaction is, this tavern keeper. So 3 and 1. So that is 4. Okay, angered. Oh, okay. Oh, I wonder, what if the people of Galenbeck actually don't like the witches? So that's how I'm gonna interpret it here. So she chats with the tavern keeper, and the tavern keeper is probably like, hey, we don't serve witches like you. You're clearly from that witch's cottage over there, and we don't like serving witches like you, so you need to get out of my tavern. So maybe he's telling her to just leave. The people of Galenbeck are not fond of witches, so I'm going to ask the fate chart if there are other people in the tavern that are also kind of eyeing Eldara and kind of giving her nasty looks or something. So we'll say likely. So 2d20, and I'll pick the highest here. Okay, so we got 8. Yeah, okay, so definitely the majority of people don't like Eldara. But let's see, is there at least one NPC who like doesn't mind? So we'll see. We'll use we'll roll a 3d20 here. Okay, so is there anyone? Okay, no, yeah, so almost everybody in the tavern does not like witches or Eldara. So knowing that she is not welcomed at this tavern, I feel like she should just leave, because I don't think she would be able to chat with anyone, because I feel like all the other strangers in the tavern, they're probably eyeing her and telling, giving her looks saying like she needs to not come back here. I do want to see if she can at least sit down, ask for food, and just listen in on conversations. So yeah, I think that's actually what I am going to do here. So I'm not super familiar with the MORK BORG system here, but we have here agility, presence, strength, and toughness. And so I am going to look into presence here. So presence is perceive, aim, charm, wield powers. And she does have a power, which is great. And so, or not a power, I meant a sacred scroll. She's holding a sacred scroll. So let's see. Yeah, I guess we can do difficulty ratings here. So we'll just do a DR of 12. And then we will add her presence. And unfortunately, she doesn't have any modifiers. So we'll see. So maybe she sees a table and looks like the table, maybe these folks are to themselves. Yeah. And I do want to see if she can at least just like get food and just sit down at the table and convince them, or I guess no, first she would want to convince the tavern keeper. Whoops. She wants to convince the tavern keeper that all she wants to do is just grab some food. So that's going to be the first thing there. Okay, so let's see. We will do a DR of 12. Let's see here. Oh, perfect. We got a 12. So Eldara is just saying, hey, like, I understand where you're coming from, but all I want is just food. I just want to sit down, have a good meal, stay warm by the fire, and that is it. After I'm done with my meal, I'll head out, and you'll never see me again at this tavern. And so the tavern keeper is like, okay, well, here you go. You can have, I don't know, maybe like some hot stew or something. So he's giving her hot stew, and she pays, and let's say that's 10 silver. So she has 120 at first, and now she's down to 110 silver. Okay, so she pays, and she sits by this table here that's by the fire, and let's see who is at the table here. I will roll on this table to see who is at the table here, and I'll roll a 1d4 to see how many people are at the table. Okay, so there's 4. So there are 4 people at this table, and let's see who these people are. So we'll roll. Okay, so we got an 11. So 11 here. Okay, so there's 4 people, and we have here fear. Okay. And then 31. So lie. Okay. And then 61 here, scare. Okay, and then one more. What is this? We got, whoops. This was 09. Okay. So feel. Okay. So how I am interpreting fear is, I bet there is the guy with fear here is a witch hunter. So that's scary. So a witch hunter, and then lie, I'm actually interpreting that as maybe a thief. And then scare, I'm interpreting that as maybe like a fighter, or like a barbarian or something. So fighter. And then feel, I'm actually interpreting that as maybe maybe like a priest or something. Yeah, okay. I like that idea. Okay, so the table that she is at, she eats her food and she's listening in on conversations. And so I definitely think this witch hunter will be wanting to have a little chat with Eldara, because he's probably thinking, oh, I bet if I'm able to capture this witch, he could get like a pretty good amount of money taking her in. So let's see. We will roll a 2d20 and I'll pick the highest for likely, that he's definitely going to want to talk to her. Okay, yep, so we got 14 and a 4. Yes, okay. So this witch hunter is going to be chatting. So he's going to be chatting with Eldara here. So let's see how that conversation goes. We'll roll on this table again. So let's see. Okay, so we got an 0-1. Allow. Okay, so we got allow. Actually, I do want to roll again. So we got allow, and we got, what is this? Oh, 61. So let's see, 61, scare. Okay, allow and scare. Okay, so how I'm interpreting that is he's probably saying, like, you know, you don't belong here. And he's probably telling her, I hunt witches for a living. So he's trying to like scare her off. Okay, so how the conversation is going is he's probably saying, you know, I could just hunt you down and I can have your head for a nice price. And she's holding her ground, and she's, I kind of want her to just use this opportunity to actually divert the conversation and actually talk about Delmira. So she's probably going to say, well, there's my head, but have you heard of Delmira's grave and like her story? And so I do kind of want to see if he knows some history about Delmira here. So I want to say likely, because he is a witch hunter. So let's see, 16. Yes. Okay. So he for sure has heard of Delmira's grave, and she's probably telling him like, well, you know, if you want an even bigger reward, you can probably get something from Delmira's grave, because Delmira is the most hated, I guess, of Galenbeck. So he's probably like, yeah, you're probably right. And so she's probably going to ask him if he knows anything, and he says yes, he's heard of this grave. And so I do want her to ask him if he's ever tried getting something from that grave. So let's see. I do want to roll on this table and see. Okay, so we got 84. So 84, shine. Okay, interesting. Shine. Okay, so he says that, you know, he has heard of the silver buried in her grave. So we got the word shine, and so I wonder if he knows like a certain symbol on the grave. So she's gonna ask him if he knows of a certain symbol or something. So let's see. Okay, so no. Okay, so because of that, I'm actually really thinking that finding Delmira's grave is going to be hard. And so he's probably saying like he's heard of it, but he hasn't really tried getting into the grave or finding the grave at the Galenbeck graveyard. And so that's kind of sad. So I think like she's kind of having a rough time trying to figure out if anyone would know anything about Delmira's grave, but knowing how hated she was, it's probably going to be hard to like find that. And so I think she is just going to have to explore the graveyard and just do her best to try to locate that grave. She definitely wants to leave this conversation and not talk with this witch hunter anymore. But I do want to see if anyone at that table kind of interjects and like adds to the conversation. So we will roll a 3d20 and see. Okay, so we got a 6, we got 18, and an 18. Okay, so that is a yes. So someone in this table interjects. So we'll see which of these people. So we're just gonna roll 1d4. Okay, so 2, and I'll just say 1 and 2. Okay, so that would mean the thief. Okay, so maybe the thief has been at the grave, and we will roll on this table to see, maybe explain what the thief has kind of gone through. I'm trying to hunt that grave or look for that grave. So let's see. So we got 14. Rise. Okay, so we got rise, and then what else? Rise, and then we got 80. Fail. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so maybe this thief is saying that he's tried to get silver from Delmira's grave, but kind of what rises from the ground is the huge giant warped spider, maybe. And so he's saying like he has had no luck trying to get silver from the grave. And so I think from this conversation, she's really just noticing that people are saying for you to find the grave, you'll definitely be coming across that giant warped spider. So that will be guaranteed that she is close to getting to Delmira's grave. Okay, that is enough information. I would see if... Ooh, because I feel like at least this witch hunter won't let her just go off easily, you know? Like he'll probably want some money or something, or else he will try to like hunt her down. So we will roll a d20 and see if he wants some money from her. Yep. Okay, so we got a 20, 16, yes. So definitely wants silver. So we will do a 1d6 times 10. Okay, so he wants 30 silver. Okay, so we will keep that in mind. She's down to 80. Okay, so she gives him silver, and he says thank you very much, and she will leave. So now she will leave, and she will head towards the Galenbeck graveyard. Okay, so now we are in scene 2, and this will be the graveyard. And I think that's where I'm going to leave that off for now. So this one-shot adventure is not going to be like a long campaign. It's going to be pretty straightforward. She's just going to be trying to find Delmira's silver and then give that up to the basilisk's gods. So that is where we are going to leave off for today. And again, if you want to check out the 2 zines that I'm using for inspo for this MORK BORG adventure, Hellwolf Art, this bestiary, and his zine. And then this is the Solitary Depths, a Solitary Defilement supplement for MORK BORG by KO Clips. So, all right, but yeah, that is it for today's adventure. We're gonna leave that off there, and then we are going to explore the Galenbeck graveyard next time and see how that goes. Well, all right. Well, thank you so much, adventurers, for joining me in my journey through MORK BORG and learning this system. I'm really excited to get into it more, and I love just the dark, eerie kind of vibes I'm getting from this system. I'm really excited to keep going and see how this goes. Well, all right. That is it for today. Until next time.